Well, I'm about to drop some shocking news on some prospective Silent Hill 2 fans, and I'm a little taken aback. Today we're going to talk about the Silent Hill 2 reviews. All of that and more here in the LZ. My fellow victims of amnesia, you've been brought to the LZ to be shown all of the terrible things that you've done. So great to have you. And I've been covering Silent Hill 2 a lot lately because it is one of the franchises that I am super passionate about, and for very good reason. But of course, it's one of those tragedies that, if you remember, Silent Hill has gone woefully underappreciated by Konami for a very long time. Once we found out that Silent Hill 2 was being remade, and by Bloober team nonetheless, there was a lot of pause taken in the video game industry and fans of the franchise alike that said that there was no competency with that studio to do this. Now, months ago, I made arguments that says that, hey, they are competent, they just haven't done very well with that competency. And of course, that brings risk to remaking a cult franchise like Silent Hill 2, or a game in a franchise that is Silent Hill 2. Well, Bloober team just served a massive buffet of crow to all of us. Now, my previous video about Silent Hill 2 talks about, did we underestimate Bloober? Because they released some gameplay that I thought was actually very, very good. It was about a 90-minute gameplay that just focused on atmosphere and navigation of the town. And if you just let yourself get drunk, if you just let yourself fall into it, it's very Silent Hill. Like, this is the most Silent Hill thing that we've had since PT. And the short message was good, but not great. And wildly enough, Bloober and Konami seems to have confidence in the game too, in spite of our sort of apprehensions around this project. Reviews just dropped today, 4 days early. Well, technically 2 days if you pre-ordered the Ultimate Edition for the game that lets you play 2 days early on the 6th. And it's sitting so far at the time of the recording at an 88%. That is crazy. And I have some excerpts from some of the reviews here that's talking about the sort of general idea of their thoughts in the games. And IGN says that Silent Hill 2 is a welcome modernization of survival horror masterpiece. It smoothly polishes down the rough edges of the original game's combat while taking a piece of heavy grit sandpaper to scuff up every rust and mold-covered surface of its nightmarish environments, successfully making them appear far more abrasive and menacing to explore. Previously primitive boss fights have been transformed into substantially more intense encounters, and its intimidating audio design kept me acutely aware that every fog-cloaked street I walked down could quickly turn, I can't read, hurry me towards my own dead end. It does feel a little padded out in parts, and I do wish the Bloober team had streamlined some of its more convoluted puzzle sections to prevent the story's momentum from sagging on occasion. Still, intermittent pacing problems aside, Silent Hill 2 is a great way to visit or revisit one of the most dread-inducing destinations in the history of survival horror. GameSpot said, the original Silent Hill 2 is one of the most beloved, culturally significant, and overall best horror games ever made. It appeared to be the case that trying to recapture the magic of that game was to misjudge how impactful its time and place were, and how its limitations helped shape it for the better. Any studio advancing on such a project should have had the Sisyphean task ahead of them, forever chasing its essence like a moth while a hole in your heart and hole in your net. Really, why are they being so poetic in these reviews? However, by staying true to the original game in extremely important ways and taking calculated risks born from an understanding of the source material, all while being supported further by some of the game's most original brain trust, Bloober team has done what was reasonably considered near impossible. The remake of Silent Hill 2 is a restless dream come true. Whoo, tingles. Eurogamer says, it doesn't matter if you've never played Silent Hill 2 before. It also doesn't matter if you have. Silent Hill 2 Remake's heady blend of old and new delivers the best horror I've played for years, and I suspect that will hold true even for those meeting James for the first time. A little light padding and some minor grumbling about the combat. There's nothing, not a single thing I wish Bloober had done differently. How it looks, how it sounds, how it plays, how it iterates, and modernizes whilst honoring the cherished source material. Silent Hill 2 Remake is as close to perfect as I could have ever hoped. Oh, I'm gonna cry. And my hopes were high, my friend. Push Square says, Bloober team has faithfully, respectfully recreated one of the survival horror genre's all-time greats, modernizing Silent Hill 2 in all the right ways. So much of what made the Konami classic a masterpiece in 2001 remains in this PS5 remake 23 years later. With the same unforgettable story, satisfying exploration, and weighty combat, there were concerns in the lead-up to release, but Silent Hill 2 speaks for itself, a spectacular experience that once again represents survival horror at its finest. Now we got a review out of Japan from IGN. This remake pays the utmost respect to the original and successfully brings a classic story that depicts human weakness in the modern era. It also brings back the fun of classic survival horror with a nerve-wracking over-the-shoulder combat system. It is a masterpiece that should serve as a benchmark for future installments of the Silent Hill series. Those are just a few excerpts from a few reviews that I think at the time of recording was like 25 different reviews from outlets, and so far they're really loving it, which is very shocking. As a matter of fact, Easy Allies went up with their impressions, and they were saying how absolutely offended they are that this is actually daring to be good. I know that's hyperbole, but I think the credit has to go where it's due here. I think Bloober knocked it out of the park. And I've yet to play the game myself. I went for a review code but didn't get one. But I did, however, pre-order the top-end version to be able to play it on Sunday. So I wouldn't mind having some impressions and put up some additional videos there, get some recordings done and such, because I am absolutely attracted to this game. I've been apprehensive for years, but then the most recent gameplays, most recent trailers have done it a lot of justice. They put their money where their mouth was. They showed us gameplay. They showed us what the experience was like. And that's key, right? You have to be able to hit the Silent Hill pedigree. And no game has hit the Silent Hill pedigree since PT. You know, that obscure feeling, right? Where your morbid curiosity is driven to go to new things, you know, little subtle details and things that make you question, what's this? Or why did they do that? Or why is this happening? But there's actually a logical lore reason for it happening. Like the dead body in the chair in the apartments, it's head covered up. There's a reason why you're not supposed to see that dead body's face. You may not know that. You might be creeped out by that as an original player. Spoilers for those, obviously, that are, but it's a thing that you'll encounter. But it's just to name one thing. There's a reason why, there's a reason why James is in the mirror in the beginning of the game, sort of having a dreadful self-reflection with himself that you'll find out through the game. It's all subtlety, and they have to be able to nail that. Everything has a design reason for the game that is part of James and part of the town, right? So the crow eating has commenced. I'm looking forward to more coverage and more information about Silent Hill 2. And bravo for Konami bringing this back in a real way. Right, that I really feel like the Konami of old, you know, from like 9 years ago during the whole Kojima debacle, that is gone, you know, for the most part, and I'm excited to see them coming back in a real way. Metal Gear is making some kind of resurgence, right? And they also in a recent interview had said that, particularly for Metal Gear, right, that they want to sort of curate the existing library and bring it up to snuff for modern times before they discuss bringing up new games. And we have more Silent Hill games on the horizon too. There's Townfall. There's Silent Hill F, which I am super excited about. Comment down below. What are your thoughts about the reviews? Are you still anticipating it? Are you still apprehensive? Keep on coming back to the LZ for more coverage of all things Silent Hill and industry-wide. Bye!